Welcome back to another video. Look at that. The Ka24de has a front end. Before it just had the fenders and headlights on it. I went ahead and threw the hood on it mainly just because I wanted to see if I was going to have to lower the engine more, because it was kind of sticking up and I wasn't sure if the hood was going to clear it with the aftermarket engine mounts I have on it. Then I went ahead and threw the bumper on it just because I was curious at what it looks like. And whoa, I just tripped on that. I'm going to be finishing up the intake manifold in this video. So after talking with a lot of people, this stuff is just really intimidating. Like I've been working on this I haven't been working on it for a few weeks, but I've been ignoring it for a few weeks. Anyways, so we're going to be pulling off this whole, we're going to be keeping this vacuum line thing that runs through here. I think this is a vacuum line, not a coolant line, because this goes to the idle air control valve. I believe that's what this is. But we're going to be getting rid of all these vacuum lines and coolant lines that run through here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. Now that all that is done, you have this, which is a lot less intimidating. So I'm going to go ahead and explain. Don't take my word for any of this. I really don't know if the car is going to run like this. This is just what I've been told by Facebook internet experts. So what I've been told. This, I have not been told about this, but if you look on here, this is the line that connects to that little nipple that comes off the intake. That runs out of this big long hose. So that goes somewhere else, I believe. If I had to guess, I would say the charcoal canister. But we're going to be deleting that also. So I think we can just block that off, but I'm not positive. That's something I'm going to have to come back to. Coolant lines. We're just going to completely bypass this whole thing right here. Some people will go ahead and chop it off. There's no point. All this is doing by running it through here is just heating up your intake, which is going to give you hotter air and less horsepower. So instant horsepower, deleting this stuff. And by deleting that, basically, you have a part that comes off the thermostat, comes through here. No, the thermostat goes through here, then this goes back to your heater core. That's just dumb. So what we're going to be doing instead, this part goes through the front of there. So what we're going to do is just take this straight over to the heater core. Straight over to the heater core, which is not in there yet. This goes somewhere else, not sure where. Okay, so now that we've got this taken care of and this junk, that's really it, honestly. This nipple back here behind these lines, this little guy right here, that goes to your fuel pressure regulator. Obviously comes off of here, so this line that comes off the fuel rail goes down there, talks to that one, and that's really it. You're gonna be blocking off this too. Oh, never mind, you don't even need to block it off because there's gonna be no coolant going through there. Now on your throttle body, you know, this is going to go on here like this. So here's where your throttle cable, wait a second. Okay, this is right, I think. So this is where your throttle cable hooks up. Then I'm gonna take it off here so it's easier to show you, but it sits like that. So before, you had a coolant line that goes from this port on the intake, that comes over and goes into here, and then this line on the back of the throttle body goes somewhere else. We're just going to completely ignore that, block it off if you want to. That's no longer needed. I don't think you even need to block it off because it doesn't go inside it's not going to cause like a vacuum leak or anything. So that you can just ignore. Then there's this vacuum line that comes off of the throttle body also. You can see a little hold on there. I've been told I can block this off also. I think this just runs over to those butterfly valves that were in the top of the intake, which we have deleted, so that can be ignored, I think. Again, don't take my word for any of this. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so this is kind of what we have going. So I think for the first start, I'm not even going to worry about hooking up a PCV or anything. I'm just going to cap this off and let the valve cover vent to the atmosphere and see if I can get it to start like that, and if I can get it to run like that, and then come back in and finish that later. For down here, there's literally only one thing I have to cap off, which is right here. And look how simple the intake is. I can put this together now, and it's just, other than coolant lines, which I'm not screwing with right now, because I'm not going to start it up with coolant the first time. I'll come back and redo those later. But, you know, other than the coolant lines, this is it. This is the intake manifold after I put it together, and that's all there is to it, which is awesome. So now it's really nice and simple. Probably actually just gonna go ahead and put it together and then later before I start like actually driving and stuff. I'll have to put hose clamps on these. But yeah, so I just went ahead down to AutoZone, got, sorry if you can hear that, here, get out of the wind. This is just a vacuum cap assortment. So just about a bunch of random vacuum caps, and I just put it over there, then put a little hose clamp over it, and you're good to go. Also went ahead and picked up some spark plugs, so I can go ahead and put that in the car. And then once we hook this up, get the fuel lines going and all the wiring hooked up, should be ready to start this car up, which is awesome. Super pumped. Motivation just popped in today, and I don't know why, but I'm happy. So it's not fully bolted up yet, but I mean, there's no fuel rail or anything, and the throttle body is still loose, but oh yeah, look at that. That was worth the wait. I'm glad I went through all that. And then, unlike all the other Ks, well, not all the other Ks, because a lot of people delete this, but no butterfly valve things, so that's gone. EGR used to come back around here, that's gone. That vacuum nest of wire, or the like wasp nest of vacuum lines that were on the back of here, all gone. What the heck is that? Alright, that's come out of the head. So yeah, it's looking awesome. I'll say this is worth the wait. Worth the wait. Good job, Joey. Last night you saw we did the intake on. That's cool. Now I'm gonna do what I have been kind of dreading and start working on the gas tank. I think this has about a half tank in it. So I'm gonna try to hook up the fuel pump and get under the car and hook up like the line and set it into one of those gas cans and try to fill it up. So this is how I have it set up. The two lines, you can see them up there. They're coming down from under, or they're on top of the subframe. They're coming down from there. They're not quite long enough to reach the outside of the car, so I have the gas tank sitting, or the just gas canister, whatever you want to call it. It's sitting in the transmission tunnel because it couldn't fit around the side of it. So those two lines are just going in it. I'm not sure which one is return or feed, so I just have them both in there, and I'm gonna hook up the fuel pump, turn the key, and see if it pumps fuel out. I'm not gonna lie, electricity and gas kind of scares me. So, I mean, it's all plugged in. I plugged in a taillight too. I'm curious if it's gonna work. I haven't seen it working out yet, but okay, no sparks. There's that. Here we go. Nope, nothing. No fuel pump. I'm not too sure what is going on here, but it's kind of making me nervous. These bolts aren't down all the way. Actually, they're hand tight. And the return and feed line on the fuel pump is blocked off. And then there's the hose that I was playing with underneath the car. It's not connected to it. So I'm not too sure what's happening here. But interesting. Alright, just talked to the previous owner. He said the lines that were in here were rusted out, and since he was VT swapping it, he was making his own lines, so he just went ahead and capped them. But fuel pump is all unbolted. Oh wow, that smells gnarly. Okay, I'm gonna put that back on there.